What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrubby here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, and if you are, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam. Your parents are gonna force you to join a cult. Yeah, that's right. I didn't really expect this story to pop up in my DMs, but hey, I guess 2020 is full of surprises, and I can firmly say if you don't press the like button, you're joining a cult. Seriously though, apparently this kid who sent me this story moved to a small town, and like his parents signed him up for this weird Boy Scouts thing that ended up basically being a cult. And if there's cults involved, I at least have to take a look at it, and it was pretty entertaining, so that's what we're gonna be talking about today. So without further ado, let's get into it. I know that bitch like me. Yeah, looking fresh, all white Nike. Alright. So today's story was sent in, and basically this person spent the majority of their early life and like really growing up in a big city, Washington, D.C. to be exact. Like, I guess it doesn't matter. They don't live there anymore, so I can say that. And Washington, D.C. is a pretty big, like, metropolitan area. There's not a whole lot of country around, it's a very urban place. And when they were 10, their parents basically moved them to the Midwest. And for those of you who aren't from the United States, the Midwest is this collection of cities that, like, is very flat and rural. There's not a lot of big cities going on, and I'm not saying that like they're lame, but it's a change of pace from the city for sure. There's just not as much going on. And obviously, when you go from like a place where there's always something to do to a place where there really isn't much to do but like go cow tipping, you get a little bit bored. So this kid's parents realized that he was a little bit bored, so they signed him and his sister up for this thing through the school that was known as like basically the Wildlife Explorers. I'm gonna use that name from Up instead of like the actual name that they sent me, because I don't want this kid to like get stalked by this cult group. But it was like a knockoff Boy Scouts, but in this town, they lived in a small town in the Midwest. It was all they had to offer. And obviously kids that grew up in the middle of this tiny, very, very like, conservative town were just different than these kids who grew up in the city. So they figured it would be a good way for him to get out and get some activity and make some friends. And, because mixing with them at school was a little bit difficult for him because they were just so culturally different. So he gets signed up for this Wilderness Explorers program, and he's pretty hyped. He's bored. He's really, really bored because the place they live is boring now, and he's looking for just any excuse to be entertained. So regardless, they get dropped off on the Friday night, which is supposed to be the introductory movie night for them. It's like the cozy night where you get to know everybody and eat popcorn, and they do it whenever there's a new kid. So they get dropped off on a Friday night. The parents drop him off, and him and his younger sister start walking into this like place where they have the meeting. And I don't know if it was a rec center or a church, wherever they have the meetings like this in these places. And as they're walking in, they open the doors, and all of a sudden the kids like all stop joking and laughing and just look at them, turn and look at them, and are just staring at them, like the new kids that just walked in. And it's a small town, so new kids aren't normal. But when you walk into a group and the entire group stops and stares at you, that's some super creepy energy. And that's when this kid starts realizing like all the posters on the wall, and the posters are like, "Sinners must burn, the devil is coming for you," like stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with religion, but like I prefer messages that are a little bit happier, like, "Oh, raindrop forest, Jesus loves you," like the devil is coming to eat your soul is a little bit intense for knockoff Boy Scouts. Like, all right, kids, I know you were expecting us to teach you how to go fishing, but we're actually going to teach you how to prepare to defend yourself in hell, because that's where all of you are going. Like, that's a bit intense. But whatever, all the kids are staring at him being creepy, as creepy kids doing creepy Boy Scout stuff do. So they're kind of like a little bit, overwhelmed, because you don't expect you to get screamed at when you're a child that like, you need to prepare to go to hell. And all of these posters center around the small town that they've moved to, engulfed in flames, like a mural. They had paid somebody to come in and paint the town they lived in on fire, which is a little bit of a weird art commission. Like, imagine being the artist that did that, Oh, some of my favorite work that I've ever painted in my entire life is just I love beaches and sailboats. And this one time I painted the city I lived in being consumed by flames because Satan himself was coming up to destroy them, and we needed to teach the kids to fear Jesus. Like, what? Who paints that? That's a weird commission, dude. You got paid to paint your entire city in flames? Come on. No, that's a weird art project. That's something that I don't think necessarily that your first grade art teacher would be proud of. So, because they're 10 years old, they're obviously terrified because it's not not like you expect this when you get dropped off at Boy Scouts. So what happens next is even weirder. So basically, like, they start singing these weird folk songs, you know, and are like burning brimstone, like sermons about how Satan's gonna come back, and they're singing these folk songs in tongues. Like, it's not even English anymore. Halfway through it, they just start making hissing noises, kind of like they're talking to snakes. You ever seen the Harry Potter thing where it's parcel tongues, you know? But like, imagine songs of that, like the beat in the background, just boom, 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 drop that. See what I did there? I got around it because technically I didn't say anything. I just hissed to show how it sounds, but I made a joke, you know? Ha ha ha. Regardless, the songs are creepy. They're starting to sing in tongues and whatnot, and some of the words that stick out are like, he's under my feet, Satan's under my feet waiting for me. Like, that's a creepy song to just be teaching kids, and you had to learn a dance about it too, so him and his sister are looking at each other like, what is going on? Because you get dropped off and told Boy Scouts. I don't care what city you're from or what country you're from. You have an image in your head of making little sailboats to float down the gutter, or the little soapbox derby cars where you make the cars that go down hills. You're not expecting to have to learn a song and dance about how Satan is always lurking to consume you. Like, okay, calm down with the rituals, guys. This is a 7-year-old. They should be dancing to the Wiggles, not this. So after the weird song and dance and whatnot, they get separated, boys and girls. So he gets separated from his sister, and all the boys are told that they're going to go on a drive with Brother Joseph. And Brother Joseph looks like a bit of a creeper. This is his description, not mine, but he just looks very creepy, and something's off about him. Like, he just gets a weird vibe. And then he sees that the car that they're going to take on this drive is like a U-Haul that has windows cut into the side of the back of the van, and they want the kids to just like hop in the back of the U-Haul to go on a drive with this creepy dude. So at this point, you know, the kid's had enough. He's like, nope, I'm not going on a creepy ride in the middle of the night, because it's late at night, by the way. It's not like you're going on a drive in the middle of the day. Who goes on a drive at the middle of the night to look at the scenery? Like, you can't see anything, you know? So, no, he's not going to get in the back of a U-Haul to go off after these people have been, like, saying all this creepy stuff and screaming at the kids. So, he decides not enough, and he's going to go get his sister. And the girls had been told to, like, stay back at where they had been doing the weird dancing and whatnot. So, he signals to his sister from the door, and she comes out, and it's late at night, so they're like, look, we're just gonna go home. And from the way it's described, it's a pretty rural town in a farm area, so they're just kind of like walking through fields and whatnot to get home, and the entire time they're terrified and talking about how weird that was. So finally they get home and they like come in the door and they start telling their parents how creepy it was and how they never want to go back, and the parents are freaking out because they've never seen their kids this scared. Like, his exact words in the message are, my parents said they've never seen us so scared. So imagine it's late at night, you drop your kids off at what you think is the Boy Scouts, and then an hour later they burst in the door like covered in dirt from walking through fields and going, Mom and Dad just tried to sell me to a cult. Like, that's definitely not something you expect to happen when you and your wife are just eating a peaceful dinner without the kids. So the parents are like, okay, you never have to go back again. But it gets even weirder. So literally every other kid in the town had been there, you know, like they were the outsiders. But every other kid at their school and whatnot had gone to this Boy Scouts meeting. And when they go to school, nobody mentions it at all. Nobody mentions seeing them there. Nobody mentions the fact that they disappeared. Nobody mentions why the kid wasn't on like the creepy U-Haul van. Like, none of the kids say anything to them or acknowledge it whatsoever. Or in any regard, not them being there, but never even bring up the fact that it exists, which is even weirder, you know? Like, let's say some kids come to try something once and they never show up, and you all just kind of know that they didn't like it, so you don't bring it up, but they never even talk about it amongst each other. Like, it's never like, hey, Tony, are you going to Nature Rangers tonight? Nothing like that. No Wilderness Explorers for the boys? Like, nothing like that, which is bizarre, because you'd think if all the kids were signed up for this Boy Scouts camping experience, some of them would talk about it sometime, especially if it's everybody in the city. But no, this creepy town just straight up never mentioned it again, which should be terrifying, dude. That's how you know it's an occult. Oh yeah, we're just gonna tell these kids that Satan is always lurking in their feet trying to eat them alive from the ground. And yeah, amen. Peace out. We're gonna go Boy Scout camping. So regardless, you know, Boy Scout cults are apparently a thing. Be on the lookout out there. I hope this wasn't disrespectful. Like, I don't think that every religion is a cult, obviously, but like, you know, it is bizarre that you wanted to take kids on a creepy ride in the back of a U-Haul. That sounds like kidnapping waiting to happen. Regardless, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to press the like button. Let me know in the comments section down below what you thought of the video. And yeah, I really would appreciate you guys pressing the like button. So if you could, please do it. Just makes the video do better. If you like the intro song, a link will be down below in the description if you want to check it out. If not, no pressure. And be sure to get yourself some of the OG Sub Club merch before it's gone forever, because you want everyone to know how OG you are, obviously. And if you can't get it, you're still OG in my heart. Don't worry. And yeah, on that note, guys, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. Follow me on Instagram @Scrubby. I paid for the @ so I need y'all to follow me. And my Twitter is @Scrubby_69, just because, I don't know, I can't get the guy with the @Scrubby on Twitter to respond to me. But regardless, hopefully you guys all having an absolutely incredible day, and I'll see you guys next time with another video, and I'm out. Peace. Gonna go sign my kids up for a cult, and hope that they exist soon. I don't have kids, but if I do, they're joining a cult.